Hey guys, it's been a while, but I'm so excited to welcome you back. Let's call it season two. Season two of Mom Friend Energy. And what a way to bring the show back to inspire me. And I hope you guys are inspired by this conversation because I want this season to be bigger and bolder. And this is the way to start things off. So my guest today is Georgina Dukes-Harris. Georgina is a Black mother who nearly died giving birth, but instead of letting that experience break her, she turned it into a mission. Georgina is the founder and CEO of Swishvo, a platform that makes culturally rooted care like doulas, midwives, and herbalists billable and reimbursable. We definitely need that. Definitely need that. So she helps the people who help us survive birth actually get paid for it. Georgina grew up in rural South Carolina, surrounded by church mothers and healers, and she spent more than 15 years in healthcare and health tech. And she's even a 2024 Aspen Ideas Health Fellow. But today we're not just going to talk about Georgina, the CEO. We are here to talk about Georgina, the mother. Welcome to Mom Friend Energy, Georgina.
Thank you. I'm so excited. Hearing you talk about me is like, but okay,
Yes,
thank
yes. Well, I have to
you.
ask. We have our questions that we're going to go through. So, whenever I hear rural South Carolina, right, it's like a special spot in my heart. I was born and raised in Philadelphia,
hmm
but I was co-raised, right? I have amazing parents, but my great grandmother was from Orangeburg, South Carolina,
Oh,
and I grew up by her. Like she was my girl.
hmm
I consider her to be one of my best friends in life.
hmm
And I've never been to Orangeburg, but
Oh, you got
anytime I meet somebody and it's like rural South Carolina, I'm like, you might be my cousin. So I just have to say that that South Carolina connection is so important to me. And I can't wait to get down there and explore
Yeah.
where she grew up and all of that. I found out recently, you'll appreciate this because you're from health tech. So I found out recently through 23andMe that I am of Gullah Geechee
Oh,
ancestry.
wow. That's awesome.
Yes, that's so like it just makes me feel special. I'm like,
It
wow.
is special, girl. That's very unique. Like you have to go down there now, like the summer or
Yes,
something.
because she never talked about it. She never
Yeah.
talked about it. So I definitely want to put some pieces together, but also I just feel like being there, being on the land, breathing the
hmm
air, seeing the people, maybe seeing some people that look like me, you
Yeah.
know,
Yeah.
would
Ill
be
healed.
special.
Yeah. I love that. Yes, you got to take your shoes off and walk outside barefoot. That'll
Yes, and
really
she was
connect me.
definitely like, there's a reason why I love okra so much.
Yes,
There's
yes.
like okra and stewed tomato. There's just a reason. It's a reason I love crabs so much
hmm
because of her.
It's in you. It's in
It's
you,
in
not on
me.
you.
It's in me. Yes, yes. So let's talk about the woman you were before you were a mom. We talked about growing up in South Carolina, and your oldest child, his name is Romeo, right? So I
Yes.
love that. So
Mhm.
before Romeo and before motherhood, what was that like being in South Carolina for you around the church moms and the healers?
Yeah, so I'd say it's so interesting. This is like the first time I've been asked a question like that. And when I first saw it, I was like, wow, this is so, I don't know, it moved me in a way because I became a mom at a young age. I was a college student. So it's like I became a mom before I became an adult, before I became 21. So what was Georgina, well, I like before that huge transition? And I would say I was Joy. Like that's the nickname that I grew up with. Growing up, like anyone from my hometown called me Joy. And I grew up in a place in South Carolina. It's about an hour and a half from Orangeburg, and it's called Monetta. The population is 250 people. There are no
Wow.
stoplights. There are still no stoplights. We did just get a Dollar General though, so that's big business, you know. So I grew up in a small rural town that was so family oriented and rooted. Like it just it, and I'm so grateful for it now. I think I kind of was ashamed for it in my like growing in my teen years to college, like, and then going to college and being with other people who came from such big cities. But now I realize it taught me so much, like seeing how multifaceted people are growing up in a small town. So when people say, "Why are you doing the most?" Like that's what we had to do in a small
Mhm.
town. So me prior to motherhood was witnessing women do the most. My grandmother
Mhm.
was the school bus driver. She was the church mother. She was the softball coach. She was the what is it? The ISS teacher. She also taught first grade. Like she did everything. She was the candy lady in the community. So I learned at a young age that community and village is everything, and we have to be multifaceted human beings as women because we are leaders in the community that co-lead alongside these men. So all that to say, growing up, me before motherhood was just like watching women do amazingly dynamic things and never being put in a box of just doing this one thing, and that just kind of inspired me and blew my mind beyond belief.
Wow. That's the first time I've really heard, first of all, a town of 250 people.
Hmm.
That is the
Hmm.
smallest population I think I've ever heard.
Yeah.
But I think the mentality with small town mindset, people feel like, oh, there's not much to do. But you just framed it in a way where it's like you have an opportunity to do so much because
Hmm.
everybody is needed to kind of fill in the space and be hands-on and step in and do certain things. So I love that.
Thank you.
So
Thank you. I appreciate
yeah,
it.
so before you lived motherhood, did you think, your experience, were you expecting it to be just like how it was with the women in your community, your mother, the women that healed you and nurtured you?
I don't think I thought of it that way. I think I knew I felt the calling. They already told me, like again, I come from that southern community, like you said, Gullah Geechee community in the South, and I knew I had a calling over my life. Like these women prayed for me. These leaders saw something in me, like you are better. Even if I did something off, they like you better than that. Not you better
Hmm.
than them, but you're better than that action.
Hmm.
And they were willing to take me under their wings and mold me and teach me how to act and train me how to be in the world. So I just knew that I was called for something big, but I didn't quite know what it was, and I was just trying to honestly be obedient and listen to them with and just try to under and watch them and see how they moved. But I just knew it was something, like I had some kind of inkling that, oh wow, you all do things like this, and that feels right to me, but I couldn't like quite put words to it, if that makes sense.
Right, right. Now, you told your story about your near death experience many times.
Hmm.
Um, you are we talked a while ago, candidly. This is not my first time meeting
Yeah.
Georgina. And you said that you are accustomed to doing things like public speaking and pitching contests and things like that. So you're accustomed to telling your story on the stage. But considering how young you were, right? And in that moment, when did you when did you just kind of like when did it dawn on you that something was happening? And then was there a point where you relied on your faith and you just like um maybe wasn't sure that everything would be okay, like you might have stopped trusting that you'd be okay and you realize that this is a moment that is going to be life changing for me? Was
with the
that?
with the birth.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, I know so. So like also, so I told you about like growing up and like the healers and just seeing these women do dynamic things. I would say I also was, and I didn't say this earlier, but I also was like a geek, a big time geek. Like I was so driven by achievement and making the A. Like I had to be valedictorian. Like if I made a 98 on the test, oh, best believe mama come to the school because I'm about to blow it up. Like I was
Really?
that angry. Seriously, like I don't know if I can say blow it up on the pod, but that's how
It's
I
okay.
was.
It's okay. We'll add a
But
disclaimer.
like, but that's how. Just so imagine, just this little brown girl. Like it's a 98. I know I didn't get that. Tell me how I got this answer wrong. That was me. So like, so you have to think this valedictorian, just a student, and then she gets pregnant. She makes a mistake. She gets pregnant. She's in college, one a chance to be a college graduate. Her mom didn't graduate college. Her dad didn't graduate college. All the things, and she ends up being pregnant, and I just felt this immense sense of failure on me. Like I was going to a PWI, Clemson University, and just all, my professors was like, "Yeah, you should just drop out. Like this is normal for Black women." Like they were just putting me in this like box, and honestly, my community kind of was looking down on me too. Like how you fumble like that, you know? And these were all the women I admire, and I let them down. I let them down. Even my grandmother was like, she could. It was my first time hearing the cuss. She was like, "I'll be damned." When she found out I was
That
pregnant,
was a cuss. That was a
yes,
cuss. Wait a minute,
yeah,
y'all. So this is Mom Friend Energy. We just have to be real here. It's summer break, and these kids. Well, I have one, but you know these kids are going to be popping in, and Georgina is
yes.
fine if you got some popping in. I'm going to say this on camera. Maybe I'll edit it out. Excuse me, you behind me. Once I open this for you and I put something on, it's on. Okay. All right.
She's like, okay.
Here. Here you go. If you need help, please ask Mimi, okay? Okay. Well, then find something else to do. All right. My apologies.
Okay. I love it. This
We
is
had we had
human.
about 4 conversations before we got to this point, and I said, "Mommy's going back to recording, right?" Usually I close my door, but I
Hmm.
don't want to do that to her. I don't want to close her out. So it's like you
Yeah.
can come in, but don't make it a every 5 second thing. Okay. I apologize. I apologize.
No, no, it's okay. It's motherhood. I love that.
Yes,
Only women can be this multifaceted in the middle of a
exactly. I'm
podcast.
sitting up here like but listening very intently. So you talked about the disappointment from your family, which is a lot. And I want to give your family grace because when you are kind of like the shiny beacon of the family, like Georgina, that's, the straight A star student and that's
Mhm.
going to the big college and they have all the high hopes for you. Sometimes the reaction is, like inward, the outward disappointed. Like, so your grandma was saying, "I'll be damned," but you know, we still love on you and believe in you nonetheless. But we have moments, and we're human. And I'm noticing that as I get older too, as a mom, where it's like I done made plenty of mistakes as a young woman, where now I have graduated from those thought processes, right, of making
Mhm.
those
Mhm.
decisions. I don't want to be so out of touch where I hold my daughter to a higher standard than I held myself at the time,
Mhm.
right? Like having the rationale of an 18-year-old young woman. And by the time my daughter is 18, I will be a middle-aged woman, right?
Mhm.
Like
Mhm.
not
Mhm.
expecting her to make decisions like a middle-aged woman. She'll just be
Yes.
18 years old. So completely understand that's a lot of pressure put on you and also for yourself, girl. A 98, the kind of student I was like, oh, okay, 98, cool, cool.
Now
Cool.
I'm
I
like that.
lucked
I'll be
out.
praying for a 98,
I
please.
lucked out. Thank you. I was expecting a 68, but we didn't.
So-
That's amazing. So, okay. So you had to advocate for your own survival, right? And you were
Mhm. Mhm.
young. Did you understand in that moment as a young woman that you were advocating for yourself and like understand the conversation that was going on either around you or happening with you? A lot of times I work with clients where they say they feel like things are just happening to them and not being explained to them, or conversations are over their head and they might not have the confidence to ask certain questions or to push back or challenge. Did you understand that at the time?
No, I would say I was so lost. Even and I was a public health student, so you would think I would know, but I naturally had no idea what was happening to my body and what to do. I just remember my mom, again, tough love, because they were kind of disappointed, but they were like, we don't want you to fail,
Mm-hmm.
at life. And she was just
Mm-hmm.
like, I'm gonna tell you this. You need to go to DSS, you need to get on Medicaid, you need to get
Mm-hmm.
WIC, and you need to see if you can get SNAP benefits because I was working part-time while in school, and she was like, you need to figure this out, and that's all I got for you. And I just remember it
Mm,
being so hard to apply to Medicaid and
listen.
to get on WIC. Like I was just sitting, and I'm a college student, but I'm sitting there crying in line. I'm in line with it was this huge line outside the building, these women, and mostly women of color. Like, and there were white women too, but they just had their babies on their hip and everyone was screaming. And I'm like, oh my God, like what am I doing? And then I found out I'm in the wrong line. Like, DSS is not for WIC. I was supposed to go to the public health department. Like, it was just this chaotic process. And then you find out you get Medicaid. And then I found a doctor that I really liked. It was a black woman who was also a Delta. I'm in a sorority, Delta Sigma Theta, and I wanted to go to
Mhm.
her, but then her OBGYN didn't accept Medicaid. Like, I didn't realize that. Like, you only can go, and it just became this chaotic cycle that I ended up having a white male OBGYN, and
Oh,
it was just the worst. Like, and everything he told me I took as gospel. Honestly, it didn't ask questions about. I'm like, this is who will accept it. And I
mhm.
just went along with it, and it just became a point. I remember around like 7 months, I'm like, I'm out of control at this point. Like, I am just in the wind, and this baby is coming. I'm working my butt off. I'm still going to graduate. I have a chip on my shoulder that I'm going to do this without help. Like, this is going to work. I'm going to figure it out. I'm not going to drop out. But I had no idea what to do. Like, I just, no plan, anything, just whatever the OBGYN said, I just did and figured out how to make a way.
There is a stereotype that people that are on public assistance or accepting benefits through the state, which, by the way, you pay taxes, right? Like, people, it's a public benefit that is there to support you. It's not meant to be like we're just going to carry you for the rest of your life, but in your time of need, you will be employed, you will be contributing to society for a large chunk of your adulthood,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
and you pay into it
Yeah.
whether you want to or not, whether you'd like to or not. So to say that like people are trying to get over on the system does not make it easy to navigate, even
Oh no.
as a person with a high functioning literacy level, an educated person, a person who understands complex academic themes and ideas. I've had to fill out some of that paperwork too. I've had to fill out Medicaid paperwork. I've had to fill
Mm,
out SNAP benefits and paperwork. And, it's not easy. It's
no.
absolutely not easy. And it's also easy to feel stuck when you are
Yeah.
in that position. It's so
Mm,
easy to feel like this is my life. I just kind of give up. I don't know where else to go from here.
mm-hmm.
Um so but we know that's not the case for you. You obviously like we're sitting here and we're talking about other things because 12 years later you had a second birth, right? And it was
Yeah.
completely different. You
Yeah.
you said you felt safe and supported. So knowing what the experience was like the first time, how, just explain like the difference. And was there any grief alongside in that joy? Like, did you feel like, oh, I wish if only I had it this way the first time, or did it make you appreciate the second time even more, knowing that you went through, you know, such trials and tribulations the first time?
I would say it's a little bit of both. So the first time, it ended up being an emergency C-section, right? I was right at 40 weeks. The OBGYN came in and said, like, there's no need for him to bake anymore. Like, let's just induce you. You go to the hospital. Like, I'm a perfectly healthy college student at this point, like, really healthy. And I'm like, okay, they induced me, and I mean, I dilate, and then they used forceps that left a huge mark, on my baby's head. He still had it, still pops up. Like, if he gets really angry, you can see it. But
Wow.
it was just really traumatic, right? C-section, all the things, and I just let it happen. And I'll say when I returned to school, because I had him in December 2011, I returned to school in January. Again, talk about women. We just keep going. And with him on my hip, he's 3 weeks old, and I had my sorority sisters take shifts to watch him. My professors, who are public health, professionals, but they were from like international, like global health. They were completely shocked and appalled at the system, right? So they were like, where is y'all's village methodology? Where was your village? Like, why didn't you try acupuncture? Why didn't you try a chiropractor? So that's what gave me the knowledge I needed 12 years later to figure out how to advocate for myself. So I wrote like the business plan for Swishvo then and used it to get in grad school, but I was like, there has to be something different here. So then fast forward 12 years later, finally pregnant, but still terrified. I'm like, how traumatic was my pregnancy with Romeo? I'm in Atlanta now. It's
Mhm.
black.
Mhm.
It's black. Have an OBGYN. They're a full black OBGYN suite, but they're like, yep, it's going to be we need to go ahead and schedule your C-section because you had a C-section before.
Mhm. Mhm.
This was 12 years ago. And I mean, I wasn't cut vertical. Like I tried to be better informed. And I was like, this doesn't feel good. So immediately I started researching all this stuff about the doula. I found a doula Nan, who I love dearly. She was like, yeah, you don't, I think you need to just like advocate. We're going to advocate for you to say no. Like I would like to have, it's called a VBAC, a vaginal
Mhm.
birth after cesarean. And they asked for all this documentation from Clemson where I had my baby, and I sent them everything. They were like, yeah, we still are unsure. At that point, I was like, you're not listening to me. I'm telling you what I want and what I believe my body can do, and you're not listening. So I end up looking all over social media and found this midwife. Her name was Midwife Angelina. And actually, one of my family members said they had a home birth with her. Midwife Angelina, she's a home birth midwife in Atlanta, Georgia. And she had so many plus size women, because at the time I was over 300 pounds, plus size women that she was helping give birth. And she talked about how they were doing VBACs. Like it was just all this VBAC terminology. Had my kickoff call with her. She just listened to me. She helped me feel so seen. She was just like, well, why wouldn't you just a little bit fluffier? Why wouldn't you be able to give a vaginal birth? Like we're going to make sure you're walking every day. You need to walk every day. How much water are you drinking? Like let's look at your diet and stuff like that. And it was just like, wow, someone is saying we're going to see if we can make sure you have the birth the way you want to. And if it doesn't happen, it's okay. We'll create a plan around that. But let's see, you know your body and you want to try this, let's do it. And that just changed everything for me. So she told midwife Angelina and Doula Nan, those were my two champions. She connected me to a prenatal chiropractor. I got connected to an herbalist. He's called the Root Doctor here in Atlanta, Georgia. I had a spiritual champion, a spiritual director, a faith based mental health counselor that was Christian based. So I had like the meanest, baddest team of holistic healers that took me through that birth. I ended up having her right at 42 weeks vaginally, and it was such a like a transformative experience to be able to push a baby out, because I fought so hard for it. Some people, if you have a C-section, but I fought so hard to be able to push and prove that my body could do it, and it did it. And it just made me feel, I didn't feel grief for Romeo, but that's what made me feel grief for everyone else who just who are listening to the doctor. Like, just, that yearning that you have in your spirit of how you want this experience to go, but you're at the whim of this professional who is saying, well, it has to be this way. And you're just going to trust it because you're like, these people got 12 years of education over me. I'm just going to do that, versus someone actually listening to you and saying, okay, let's try it. And if it doesn't work, cool, but let's see if we can do all the right things to make sure your vision of how you want to bring this baby earthside can actually happen. Sorry that's long-winded, but I hope that makes sense,
This is an interview. You have to be on the fill in the space. So I'm listening to everything you're saying. First of all, I have been following Midwife Angelina on social media for years.
Oh,
And
wow.
it's just, I don't know her personally. We're not connected. I'm a fan, and she's just like a powerful midwife. But um I love that you got connected with her and that it completely was a 180
Mm-hmm.
for the experience. I find that so much where, for reasons that are not understood, and I don't like to get into conspiracy theories, people will say stuff like, oh, if you have a due date around the holidays, they're going to push for you to be induced. I think they just always push for you to be induced. It has a lot to do with something called the Alive trial. where they just say, you're around 39 weeks or 40 weeks. I talk about this with my clients all the time, but I also tell them, yes, while your provider did go to medical school and they have clinical expertise and background, you are the expert, right? And it
Right.
is your experience. And you are allowed to ask questions and challenge. You're allowed to say, listen, I don't fully understand, but it doesn't feel right to me. And I would
Hmm.
like to know if we can go about it in a different way. It, a lot of times, I will be honest, they don't have patience for pushback, right?
Yeah.
But it doesn't mean that you don't have the right to push back and that
Right.
you went from being like, okay, I'm going to listen to, even in the best of circumstances, right? I'm in Atlanta, I have an all black team, and they're like, no, we can't do that. You didn't have to accept it. You said, all
Hmm.
right, still not right. Wrong
Yeah.
answer. Looking for something else. And you absolutely can. I have two clients right now with due dates that are within like a week of each other. I'm really pushing it close with these two clients. But it's so interesting. These are two women, two different ethnic backgrounds, two different body sizes, two different ages that are being told the same thing. We'll
Yeah.
just go ahead and induce you, right? We'll just go ahead and do this. And one is like, I don't consent for you to do that, right?
Hmm. Hmm.
So it's for her, it's giving her a little bit more time with this decision making. But with one client, she's like, oh, I'm fine with what they say. As your doula, I support you with that, but I'm also, wanting, I'm supporting clients. And with one, she's fine. You're fine with being scheduled for the induction. Let's prepare together for the induction. The other one is like, not yet. And I'm like,
Yeah.
okay, not yet. Let's let's figure out other options. Let's figure out
Right.
other conversations to have, if it's not necessary. So I love that you had that. You had a dream team. You had a dream team. I think everybody should not just be getting all the information from one source. Your OB is your expert in one sense, but they're not an herbalist. They're not a
Hmm.
nutritionist. They are not,
Hmm.
like all of that. They're not a mental health professional.
Hmm.
They can
Hmm.
refer you to people, but also as a doula, I see it as my responsibility to be able to have a network of people to be able to refer you to, right?
Right.
First thing I do anytime I have clients that are saying they want to nurse or breastfeed, okay, let me hook you up with this lactation consultant. We work together. So it's just like meet with her the day after you meet with me, right? Like
Hmm.
you come home from postpartum, I come and check on you. She's going to come over the next day and help you get set
Hmm.
up with the latch and everything that you need. So we're almost kind of like a tandem.
Wow. Yeah.
Also mental health. I'm quick to be like, listen, I need you to talk to somebody, right? You're not sounding healthy. Here's a few numbers, a few people to call that are accepting clients. That is so important. The village model, like your professors were telling you about, is
Yes.
so important. And the way that the care model here in the States is crazy. You go to one appointment a month. You might be waiting, right? 30, 45 minutes to be seen by somebody, and you might only get 10 or 15 minutes of FaceTime with them, and you have to squeeze in whatever information. If they share extended information with you, they might give you a handout. If you feel comfortable with asking a question, and then towards the end of your pregnancy, you see them once a week. They'll have you do like non-stress tests and things, and then imagine you give birth, and then it's 6 weeks before you go back to see your provider, right? There has to be stuff
Hmm.
that fills in the space
Yeah.
in between that. It has to
Hmm.
be. So I love that. I love that you had that, herbalist, spiritual advisor, midwife, doula. It's important. It's so important. So I hope that is not just a plug for myself as a doula, not just a plug as myself, but just find a doula, right?
Yes.
Find a midwife, find somebody, find a pelvic floor therapist, find
Hmm.
an
Hmm.
acupuncturist, just find, right?
Yes.
A lot of states, you will be surprised. A lot of states, you are able to have this stuff covered uh, via private insurance, even
Hmm.
Medicaid.
Hmm.
But back to the system of Medicaid, they're not just going to present it to you. on a platter and be like, here,
Yeah.
these are all your options. Did you know that all of this was available? You have to do some digging, you have to do
Yeah.
some research. Absolutely. So let's get into, I don't think I really gave you the background on why I do mom friend energy. So yes, I'm a doula. And of course, you understand content and putting yourself out there. But about a year ago, I saw a story that said there was a study that was conducted between 2018, so this is pre COVID, and
Mm-hmm.
2023. And the findings of the study was that only 25% of mothers in the US reported to having excellent mental health. So that was the statistic. And I said, well, what are, so 75% of us are struggling in some way. And what do those 25% consider excellent mental health?
Yeah.
Right? Is excellent mental health like I'm just getting by, I'm fine, I don't feel hopeless or depressed, or is it just like they become so accustomed to being overwhelmed, being anxious, being stressed out that they just say, yeah, my mental health is excellent because I know how to cope with it for the time being. So
Mm-hmm.
I did a post about it on TikTok, and I had so many women reach out to me and say, I just feel isolated. I hear about a village. I don't know a village. I don't know how to ask for help. I don't have anybody around me that relates to me. I feel like I have to do it all alone. So I said, like the first start in that is having good mom friends.
Yeah.
Like just having people that you can talk to and relate to and be like, yeah, it's normal. That's oh yeah, my kid did that too. Oh, your kid is throwing tantrums. Yeah, mine did that too. Like just all the things like,
Mm-hmm.
oh, you had night sweats and postpartum. That's normal, right?
Yeah.
Sometimes it's like you don't even have to. I wouldn't suggest getting medical advice from pedestrian people. But
It's just
sometimes hearing other people's experiences
yeah.
or just people talking about what they're going through without it being like a mommy influencer that has the perfect lighting and the perfect, like, it's just like we are just talking. So I
Mm-hmm.
decided to come up with Mom for an Energy, and I did a few interviews with people. So I do like to have you not only speak about your experience, but also allow yourself to speak to maybe that person who's watching that is in a similar position. Maybe it's a young
Yeah.
mom, a college student who doesn't feel like she has a lot of options. She's fearful. Maybe it's somebody who is in postpartum, um, who is just like, I just I don't know when I'll be able to sleep again. I am just isolated in the house with this baby. I call it the newborn trenches. Um, but sometimes it's good. They might stumble across content and be inspired by your story. So these next few questions are just going to be like how we are uplifting the moms that need some support in this moment, right?
Yeah.
You went through what you went through, and obviously it didn't define you. It didn't, keep you stuck in a certain spot. You were able to elevate, right? And to
Yes.
also reach back to help others because
Mm-hmm.
Swishvo, I'm going to be candid too, I did sign up as a Swishvo.
Thank you.
Swishvo was created as a way to reach back into this community of birth workers, all birth workers, but absolutely Black birth workers. There is a disparity between payment, right? Of
Mm-hmm.
like there is this idea that this labor that we do as Black women to help support and save the lives of other Black women, that is charity work.
Yes. All day. All day. That's what they think.
Y'all saw that child just come in here, right, and ask for me to that iPad. That child asked me to eat something. Seemed like every 15 minutes, right?
Mm-hmm.
She likes sushi from Whole Foods. That's
Okay.
that's an expensive dependent in there. I have to make
That
money to take care of
yes.
her. Yes, I love and want to support and help my clients, but I also need to make actual American dollars, right?
Mm-hmm.
We are in a
Mm-hmm.
capitalistic country, and we also work in a space, a healthcare space, where it is private equity and it is all about profit and things. So if I'm in the space,
Mm-hmm.
I should be able to earn a living to be in the
Yes.
space. So I really appreciate what you've created with Swishvo. If I have other doulas, birth workers, midwives, anybody that's interested, I'll be more than happy to answer your question. And you have the founder and CEO right here, right? So if you are interested just based on her story and based on her mission, I would definitely suggest that you sign up for Swishvo. Okay, that was your Swishvo commercial.
Oh yeah, thank you. Thank you. I appreciate that. It was lovely. Can I just use this snippet? Moving on?
Absolutely, absolutely. Okay, so when motherhood was hardest for you, what
Mhm.
reminded you that you were still you? How did you stop yourself from losing yourself in motherhood?
I think one of the things that stopped me, like especially the hardest, is you have to find joy.
Mhm.
Those are one of the pieces, like, and I'm going through this now because I've gone through the motherhood journey for a third time now. I just had my third child who's 10 months old, and I met with my spiritual director and my health coach, and both of them were like, what do you find endearing or whatever? What do you find enlightening? You have to get back to that. Don't lose yourself again. Like, what do you find? So I will say, in moments where motherhood is the hardest, you have to find those little moments of joy that can make you laugh. Whether, like, one of the things I love watching comedy, or and
Mhm.
there's no comic view anymore, but TikTok has a lot of comedy. Like if that means scrolling and laughing on TikTok, or um finding a good movie on Tubi, like just finding something for 30 minutes that can just make me laugh. That brings joy. For some people it's cooking. For me, nails. Like I
I
love
see you. I see you. I see
like,
you. That was my thing too. That was
like
definitely my thing too. But I definitely peeped them. They're gorgeous.
Thank you. Thank you. Just those little things. If it brings a smile to your face, hold on to that just for like those 5 minutes. And then you got to get back to the screaming baby. But like, wow, I'm looking at my hands while I'm holding, changing that diaper. I'm like, girl, this is you bomb, you know?
Okay, isn't it something
Like,
about for me? You know how they say when men get haircuts, they don't know how to act?
yeah,
For
yeah.
me, it is the nails, the brows, and pedicure combo where I'm
Oh.
like, you are that girl. Okay. My hair can still be a mess, clothes, I don't know what I'm wearing. But if I do this and I look here and this is together and I look down on my toes, I'm like, "Ah,
I'm that girl again. Okay,
that
I
girl, she's still
forgot.
here. She's still somewhere in there. All hope is not lost. You can get back to it. A mother first, a daddy maybe after. Absolutely. I'm gonna get back pre-motherhood Dana. I look at pictures and I'm like, why were you not appreciating?
That's true. Now that's one thing. Like you be like, Dana,
Why?
you were that girl. Like
I
what?
was that girl. Yes. Now I'm raising that girl. But
Yes.
she's so cute. She told me last night, we can be that girl together. I was like, you're
And
right.
she's already a girl's girl, and I love
Already.
that.
Yes, yes, yes. Okay. So who was your mom friend in your lowest stretch? Did you have either a family member or a girlfriend? Or did you feel like you were alone?
So I'll say with Romeo, definitely alone because you gotta remember I was like very young. There were no other people who had kids my age, like at that time that I was close with at school. Like,
Hmm.
um, but with Gigi, my second, 12 years later, I had three friends from childhood who each had kids like right around the time. So it was so good. We just created a group chat because it was similar after COVID. We had been locked away. We had reconnected from child. We were friends since 3 years old. I told you, it was a small town, so we all knew each other.
Well, how about
Um,
that?
and they all had like 2 or 3 year olds, and it was just so good when I was like, wait, they're saying she has a rash. And like that, we may have to do cloth diapers, and then it was like, I don't know if you need to go all the way to cloth. Try this brand, try this, and like it was just such I don't know, not a group thing for lack of a better term, but it was just such a village that I
Hmm.
could just any question I had, or just I've been up all night, like she had a fever, for them to be they were up too, that I could send a quick text message just to get through the night. It was just a lovely experience, honestly.
I love that. Shout out to the mom friends that are like, I'm in the trenches with you. And this is what happened.
Mm-hmm.
It's something that happens like after you have a baby, after a few years, you kind of lose. Like if I had a mom friend that had a newborn right now, I
Yeah.
probably couldn't be like, yeah, girl, because it's like I'm dealing with a 5-year-old at this
Mm-hmm.
point. It's
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
we have graduated, right? I have empathy for you, but I'm not in it with you. But
Right.
when
Yeah.
you can find, and I have that, it's for me, it's the dance moms. We all have girls that
Yeah.
are around the same age, and just going through it together, asking the questions. They're all like losing teeth at the same time. They are all, it's just amazing starting kindergarten at around the same time together. So we talk about like getting them prepared with reading, and it's just
Mm-hmm.
great to know. Because if you're in it
Yeah.
alone and you're like, is it me? Is she behind? Is she this? And
Yeah.
we're all just like, no, they're where they're supposed to be.
Mm-hmm.
This makes sense. This is where they should be. So I love that you had that.
Thank you.
Um,
Thank you.
yeah. So outside of, because as a fellow entrepreneur, I know that entrepreneurship is like it's never ending. It's so funny where I was just like, I want to leave my career and have more freedom.
Oh no, it's the opposite. It's a scam. It's
It's
a
a scam.
scam.
There's nothing wrong with being employed, and having a steady paycheck.
Yes.
If that is comfortable for you, I suggest you stay there.
Do it.
Um, do it. Don't be like me. So aside from being an entrepreneur and then also your kids, you are married, you're a family woman. What brings you joy that has nothing to do with any of that, right? That's just like solely for you, for your fulfillment.
Yeah, so I would say again, I'm trying to find this out, and I've tried two things that I really feel like are landing right now. So I think for me, it's like, and it's three actually, it's three things, and it's so crazy. It all lines now that I'm talking about it aligns with mind, body, spirit. Like
Mm,
I think things that bring me joy right now in this season is things for my body, which
mm,
is like getting my nails done, skincare, like going to. I was looking for a intramural like flag football thing to do this summer. So it's like getting outside and doing something physical. Those things bring me joy, like taking care of my body. For mind, I love the mental taxing thing of building something like with software. Again, of course, tech startup
okay.
founder, but like literally my sister-in-law was like, she's a chef and she's like, I really want to start a website. Girl, I had so much fun like making her brand and building the website and like, okay, this is going to be your new logo. Like, and they were like, are you going to charge me? I'm like, no, but I just loved doing that. And then for spirit, I am definitely a prayer.
Mm,
Like I pray and I write these prayers daily that I share on my Substack, but praying for me and just figuring out like what the spirituality mean that is decolonized too. I don't know how many Christian people like are listening to this, but there's a lot of colonization, Christian nationalism out there, and seeking God for myself, that brings me joy. So I would say those three things, like I'm finding in this season of life, has healed me and have made me just smile more, that I wasn't, because I feel like I wasn't tapping into something that was fulfilling the boat in those three areas of my life.
right. I love that. I love it. Intramural, flag football. I love
Yeah.
that so much. I grew up doing sports. And I think once you like graduate from high school, if you don't go on to play sports in college, you kind of like lose that.
Yeah.
Last summer, I started playing tennis,
Oh wow.
and I'm terrible, but it's so much fun. It is
Yeah.
so much fun. And people say a lot of times too, it's hard to make friends in adulthood, but you'll be surprised where it's just like there is a group of women on is it WeChat? I can't think of the name. I can't think of the name of the platform. But anyway, there's a group of women they're Black women, they're in this area and they get together to play tennis. And I'm on the chat. I just have not had the opportunity to meet up with them yet. But it's
Mm-hmm.
like whenever I am ready to go pick up the tennis racket, I can be around another group of, it's diverse,
Mm-hmm.
and we're just there to play tennis. It's just fun.
Yes.
Like I just feel like it's just all you need. Nothing, one less thing to think too hard about.
Yeah.
Just
Yeah.
go, just go chase a ball. Just go,
And
like
be in community.
and
Like it's
be in
just
community. It's
yeah.
amazing. And I also challenge anybody watching this too, no matter how old your child is, but to find an activity where it's not centered around them and you guys doing it
Yes.
together.
Oh my gosh. And that
That
was,
was,
can I say, that's
yeah.
been the hardest thing for me. Like my spiritual director, she was like, okay, when she was telling me through this process, what do you like to watch? And I'm like, well, I like Marvel superheroes. She was like, are you sure? What does Romeo like to watch? I'm like, he likes Marvel. She was like, you've been his mom for 14 years, okay? I think this is skewing a little bit into him. Then she was like, what do you like to eat? I'm like, hibachi. But you just told me your husband loves Japanese food and
Mm,
like so she was like, I need you to find you outside of these people that you live with, and that just shook me. So it's like you're right. And I love that you're reiterating that. Like think outside of your husband, your spouse, your partner, your kids, like what do you like? If they weren't here, what would you be doing right now? You know?
absolutely, because it would not be watching K-pop Demon Hunters.
Yeah.
I would not be doing that. I have this little girl. And you so like, once they get older, you become whoever's wife if you get married. You have kids,
Yeah.
and then it's like I go to my daughter's school, or I go to like her different activities, and I am just her mom, right? No one knows my name is Dana, right?
Mm-mm,
It's just
mm-mm,
like, Amari's mom.
mm-hmm.
And I answer to it.
Yeah.
But for me, tennis is like, and so I bought her a little mini tennis racket.
Mm-hmm.
I took her with me one time to the courts. When I say I was so irritated the entire time, because it's like, oh, you will not be coming back with me. This is
Right.
for me. This is
Yeah.
my time. You're not invited. You're not welcome. This is for me. The same thing with like riding my bike. You can't keep up. And I don't want to slow down. It's not to be mean, but it's just like I have to for my mental health, for my sanity. I have to.
Yeah.
We can do so
Yeah.
many things together, but it will not be my tennis. You can take
Yeah.
tennis lessons, and maybe one day when you get older we could play together. But right now, it's for me. It's about my time, my personal time, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like
Mm-hmm.
nobody needs to know on the tennis court that I'm a mom. I have a 5-year-old. We come and play tennis. Like we don't need to do that.
No, no.
Let
Mhm.
me just swing at these tennis balls.
Right.
Um, so I guess one thing that you would want to say to a mother who feels like she's losing herself right now, is there something a word of encouragement, maybe a favorite quote that you have, or something to just snap her out of it or just remind her to not lose herself in this moment?
I would say there's two things, and I actually have what has helped. What brought me these things was I kind of lost myself after the birth of Gigi, the second born. So although it was like the most amazing birth, no complications, afterwards I fell like 2 months later. I fell into this bout of deep postpartum depression, and ended up signing up for a psychedelic clinical trial. Was
Mm.
referred to it, and I was like, at this point, I don't know what else because it was just very dark. Like I
Was
just
it
knew.
mushrooms?
Yeah, they inject you with mushrooms. Like,
Oh,
but they have
okay.
it because it's a clinical trial. They put it in medicine form and inject you, and then you're in a hospital room that is like very boho earthy, like it's decorated. You have these headphones playing certain music, but you're locked in that hospital room for 48 hours with a spiritual guide to kind of walk
Wow.
you on this journey. And I'm telling you, I talked to the ancestors. Like it was, it was a
Was
trip.
it like so was it like a shaman kind
Yeah, I mean,
of? Okay.
well, they were Christian based, but basically a
Oh.
spiritual director. Like, and I've just learned about this role being in seminary school. Like, I thought that you just have chaplains that pray for you when you're dying or come visit you at the hospital, but there's this role called a spiritual director that is basically, you know how you have a therapist that walks with you for your mental health. There's a spiritual director that walks with you for your spiritual health, that makes sure you have your sense of belonging, that you understand who you are meant to be and your meaning in the world. And I just did not, even as a Christian, I just never knew that that was a thing that you're supposed to be meeting with at least once a month. Now I meet with, I told you my spiritual director told me about hobbies. I'm like, I meet with her once a month. I meet with my mental therapist once a week. And I still meet with like my midwife, my holistic nurse practitioner. So that's my team. But the spiritual director in the process, like, all that to say, I went through this trip, and one of the things I found out was like mother wounds and just different things like trauma
Mhm.
that I had that's been passed down from generation to generation. And I'm so scared to pass that down to my daughter, right? It transferred from mother to daughter, mother to daughter. And one of the things that journey taught me was like, this can be prevented, and this is why I'm saying this right now to the women, that for your question, this can be prevented. And it's similar to what your whole theme of it is. So this is why I'm getting chills right now. But it was like God clearly saying, who did I call you to be before the world told you otherwise? Right?
Mm.
And so I would say that to the mothers listening to this, like, if you are in this dark situation, or it's being challenged and you're getting pulled, and you're just feeling lost right now, I need you to center yourself, both feet on the ground, and just think, who did God call me to be before the world told me otherwise? Because, like, it's in you, but it's like these voices. My husband says it's the devil tricking you out your spot. It's these voices and naysayers and comments that you read all over social media, making you feel like, oh, I can't be that. It's making you interrupt what that path is. So I would say that is the first thing, is just to say, who was I called to be before the world started to make me doubt that calling? And then the second thing, which I said it was a two-part, is just to say a prayer over your body, mind, and spirit, to just say heal. Like, I feel lost. And I just believe in one word prayers. You don't have to have all these words, but just, God, heal, and heal my body, heal my mind, heal my spirit, just heal so that I can find that clarity. So those would be my two pieces of like parting wisdom to you all.
I love that. Just a one word prayer, right? I think
Mm-hmm.
prayer, meditation, however you approach spirituality, can be
Mm-hmm.
intimidating to a lot of
Yeah.
people, especially if you maybe didn't grow up in it, or you did grow up in it and you kind of just have like a bad experience from it. But it doesn't take a lot to be connected to a higher power, a higher source, because you have to understand that you are a, a connection to the source yourself,
Yes.
right? You have to
Yes.
identify that within yourself and
Mm-hmm.
understand that you don't have to wait till you're in a certain position, or wait till you have anything to be like, okay, now I'm ready. Like, you
Mm-hmm.
have, like, right, to your point, who are you, um who are you, who are the version of you are who I called you to be, right?
Yes. Yes.
Like, that is
Yeah.
your identity. You're a
Mm-hmm.
vessel for so many things, right? Like, I feel like anytime a woman is placed in a man's life to be like in partnership and marriage, she absolutely is elevating his life.
Every time.
Parenthood, in the same way. So, creating life, creating new humans, right? But also just like, how are you recognizing that within yourself? And you do have to quiet out all of the outside stuff, right? Like, I love that. When you're talking about being in the room for 48 hours, it reminds me of when I lived in LA. I was
Mm-hmm.
very much in like one of those, I'm gonna hike to the top of a mountain and meditate type of people.
Yeah.
And just like sit in nature. But there was something very popular where people would do, it's called like ayahuasca,
Oh, yes. Yes.
and it was kind of the same thing. And I always wanted to do it. I kind of was a little scared, but now I'm like, I really want to do it. I really wish I'd taken the opportunity to do it when I had it. But it's kind of the same thing where it's like,
Mm-hmm.
it's kind of almost like you said, talking to the ancestors, or kind of like seeing your life and kind of having this clearing
Yeah.
come over you, where you realize none of this really matters at the end of the day. Like, you really have to be so tuned in with yourself.
Mm-hmm.
And that is the guidance that you give people. I love that you said that is what you want to leave with your girls, right? To not have
Mm-hmm.
the mother wounds, to
Mm-hmm.
not, it, because we carry so much
Yeah.
ancestrally that we don't even understand. I don't think people realize that. Like,
Yeah.
if you don't heal or recover from what your traumas are, the people that come after you are going to be left with the fallout of it.
Yes. Yes.
Um,
Yes.
and I'm watching it and even being aware of it. I have a 5 year old, a little girl. As even aware of it, I can see like, oh, that's my issue manifested on her. That
Mhm.
part of her personality, right? That like her need to, when she's in public, perform or project or, be like,
Yeah.
am I doing this right? Am I like, and I'm like, that's because of something that I did not fully overcome or heal. So now it's up to me to not punish her for it, but also make her aware of it. Like, you're carrying this. It's out of, like, let's heal it before it becomes dangerous and before it's like I have grandchildren that are out here struggling with that
Right.
in some sort of sense. So my final question for you is not just your business, but your life, your experiences, your family, your legacy. What do you want your kids to inherit from what you've built?
I think there are three things that I think when I think about this, like what do I want my kids to inherit? And the first one is this healing factor. Like I want them, it's so weird. My son he loves like comic books and stuff like this, and he always draws me with like glowing hands or glowing feet because he was like, everything you touches heals. Like not the way you think. And I'm like, I'm glad you see that in me, but I don't see that in myself. But I would want them to inherit this ability to always feel like they can connect and heal themselves, right? Like I want them and to feel like they can heal the world. It doesn't have to be clinical or medical like we think of, but that they can meet someone and leave them better than they found them. Like that is one of the things. So the heal part is number one. The second part is just love. I want
Mhm.
to leave a legacy of love. Like I just lost my grandmother, who I told you about earlier in this
Oh, so
conversation in
sorry.
October. It is the first loss in my adulthood. I had never really lost anyone, did not know what grief was like. And I still to this day will apologize to anyone that was grieving that I was like, oh, I'm praying for you. There's nothing you can say that can make someone, there are no seven stages of grief. Like this is
Mhm.
like one of the hardest journeys I've ever had to go on. But that woman loved us so much. And that's why the grief is so hard. Like grief shows you that there was once love there and you are just sick without it. And I want that same legacy with my kids and my grandkids to know that they are loved unconditionally. There is nothing they could ever do so wrong that I am not going to love them. I'm not. I'm going to hold them accountable. I may be disappointed, but baby, you're always going to have love for me. So that is the second one. The first one is healing. The second one is love. And then the third one is that I'm trying to think of the right words to describe this, but it's just like I just want them to feel free. I want them to
Mhm.
leave a legacy of freedom. Don't feel like they have to live up to any expectations of me or my scholarly achievements, right? Like the geek, the valedictorian mindset, the go getter. Let's build this software. Let's change the world. You are free to be whoever you want to be in this world, and I will just do whatever I can to make sure that you can be that, but you do the actual work to be the best at it, to be whatever you want at in this world. But I want to leave a legacy of freedom, of expectations, of all of this rigor around it. So those are my three things: the ability to heal and leave people better than they found them, love, to know that they are unconditionally loved, like someone was just willing to die for them, like so much love in my kids. And then the third one is freedom, freedom of any of these wild expectations that we put on our babies because of this capitalistic society. So those are my three things.
Well, you heard it. That's a strong legacy to leave, right? Thank you so much for
No
doing this. I
problem.
appreciate you. I I see you all the time on social media. You are building something really special. I think a lot of times as a doula, I get a lot of companies reaching out to me for different stuff, to join agencies, to join things. Um, and it feels like a chance for them to be opportunistic, right? Like with the way that insurances are starting to open up to cover doula care. I think a lot of companies are like, oh, let's hurry up and get some doulas,
Yep.
right? So we can make
Yeah,
a profit off
that's
of
true.
And I see that, or I see like a lot of people that are like, "Oh, if you're a doula, I can help you stay booked. I can help you build systems to." It's not what the work. This is not the profession you get in to hit a lick, right?
Hmm.
You can
Hmm.
very much be lucrative as a doula, as a birth worker. Um, but that's not the lead, right?
Yeah.
Like I did not quit my corporate six-figure salary to be like, oh, I'm about to hit a lick and be a doula. I knew it was
Yeah.
going to be a sacrifice.
Hmm.
The only way I could do it is by relocating back home with my mother, right? Like being back with my village because I knew it was going to be a drastic step down financially. um, so whenever I have companies reach out to me to be like, oh, we can help you with this, and being a part of the credentialing process for Medicaid, you really understand like you have to have your affairs and your business in order.
Yeah.
Um, so talking to you, reaching out to you, Nadia, doesn't even have to do with the fact that like, oh, it's a black woman, right? It's
Hmm.
you are a black woman, you are from the world of tech, but you also understand through your experience the value of what we do, and you see the opportunity of like, no, they need to be better taken care of. They need better, better support and structure in the system because it is so easy for doulas, midwives, like holistic practitioners to just really get swept up in
Hmm.
capitalism. If you don't find your lane
Yeah.
and, find a way, like a lot of us don't come from business backgrounds, don't really understand, the importance of contracts and, like there are so many people that are doing it from the kindness of their heart. They will accept a person as a client through a bartering
Yeah.
system, right?
Yeah.
They're like, I'll be your doula if you do my hair, or
Hmm.
like if you whatever. And I think it's beautiful. I do think it's
Right.
beautiful. Um, but for those of us, like if I lived in rural South Carolina, maybe that could be maybe that could be my lane. But I live in the big city,
You live in a
right?
big city.
Property
Yeah.
taxes, mortgage, all of the things. It costs to live.
Hmm.
And I absolutely, for the passion that I have for it, for the importance, for the way I know that I've entered spaces and changed outcomes. Like I can see it firsthand when a person's like, I've had this provider, she's been telling me to schedule a C-section since I've been 17 weeks. And I'm like, okay, let's change these conversations, right?
Right.
I know that I deserve to be able to make a living. It's not about like, oh, gimme, gimme money grab, but also like you understand it. It's not about trying to exploit other birthing people, black women, black birth workers. It's like help me help you set up a foundation, a structure for you to be able to survive the system, right?
Yeah.
On both
Yeah.
sides, on both ends, to help families find what they're looking for: safety, protection, cultural understanding, and competency with Black
Hmm.
birth workers and holistic practitioners putting together your village. And then also the people within the village. Like, if hospitals, and they are trying to figure out a way to bring on doulas in their staff full time. Once they figure that out, the like lone rangers like myself will almost be obsolete.
But that's not the right way. Well, in my opinion.
Well, no, but I mean,
Yeah.
like where it's like it's happening, where it's like, and this is not a bash to doulas who are accepting roles in hospitals, because like it's important. I want you to be in the space. You're needed there, right? People need that safety. But once they figure it out, it's going to be harder to function and to operate. So
Yeah.
again, another commercial for Swishvo. It's like
Thank you.
special. It's special what you're doing. I don't feel like you're exploiting me. I don't feel like you're like, oh, we'll help you get credentialed. We'll help you. Like, like to me, it just kind of feels kind of icky
Yeah.
sometimes when you talk to companies. So the way you're going about it, you are yourself. Georgina is on Threads. Georgina is on Instagram, and she is like pulling up in your inbox, like, hey, I would love to talk to you and hear more about your work. And Georgina is very, very much sincere and interested in talking to you and hearing more about your work and supporting your business. So that's all I have to say.
Thank you. I got chills because I'm like, wow, you really get me.
I
Like I'm
get
just
you. I
trying.
get
I
you.
just don't want to pay out of people to pay out of pocket. And
You know,
but I
it's
think though that like you're saying, it's just so powerful. Like I one of the first books I read when I decided to go down this career in health administration, health tech, was Patience Comes Second. It was like a really jarring
mm,
book, but it was like people will continue to die. Like patients will continue to die at alarming rates if we do not treat the people who provide their care right. And it was talking about a hospital, but that has followed me even to this day. Like that's the whole thesis. Like we have the doulas are literally saving the lives of black women because of this maternal health crisis. And if they are not treated right, I mean, you look at the reimbursement rates, like you're not paying them near as much as you're paying these other clinicians. So we have to treat these women right so that they can do right and continue to decrease this mortality amount of people dying. So that is our thesis. It's like it is cringy out here. I will say because doulas are starting to get reimbursed, there are a lot of tech companies. Like I'm not going to badmouth anyone. I'm just always going to stay focused on what my mission is. But if you can just find companies, not even Swishvo, but if people listening can find companies of people who are trying to advocate for you, trying to support you, trying to make sure you live a quality life so you can afford in this economy and you can still heal moms, then that's the right group for you to go to. Like anytime, I'm always going to support it. It doesn't have to be Swishful, but just please find people that are going to treat you right and make sure you get what you need so you can continue to help these moms heal and survive. So that is my piece. So thank you for that.
absolutely. Well, guys, episode one, season two. How to, right? Make sure you follow Georgina. I'm going to have your social media stuff put up here. Look into Swishfo. Swishfo is not just for birth workers, but you can also look to find if you are expecting, if you are newly in postpartum, if you're looking for a maternal health practitioner to work with. You can also sign up for Swishfo and look through the directory. You're nationwide at this point, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Nationwide directory of different service practitioners. I am on there. I didn't put my picture on there, but I'm on there. You can look me up, right? And of course, follow her, look into Swishfo. Follow me if you have not already. Subscribe to the channel. The last time I checked, I was at 79, which I'm proud of myself. Somebody that is not consistent. I
Yeah.
so thank you guys for the growth on TikTok since we last spoke. Georgina, I haven't posted a video on YouTube since February. So, but I'm very active on TikTok.
Okay.
So,
Okay.
TikTok friends, if you are here from TikTok, make sure you hit that subscribe button. And this is a platform that's open to everybody. This is really about people finding their mom friends, whether it's going to be your girlfriends in real life or just somebody that you admire, look forward to, relate to, someone that inspires you and that reminds you that you are not in this alone, that your experience, while it may be unique, you are not isolated. So make sure
Yes.
you follow me here, subscribe, and I look forward to another episode of Mom Friend Energy. Georgina, thank you again so much. And I will talk to you guys soon.